and say hello, everyone. My name's Susie Love, and welcome to Avanti Women's free webinar series. In our month of food and travel, we're pleased to present Master Your Health, Live Your Life, and learn how Jillian Bowman changed her relationship with food. For those of you who are new to Avanti Women, we are a GTA and beyond based organization led by volunteers. We are all about empowering women to develop themselves personally and professionally, and we provide learning, networking, and mentoring. A couple of quick housekeeping notes before we get this started. I know Jillian is extremely passionate about the subject and welcomes your questions at any time. If you prefer to remain on mute and have your dinner, I will be monitoring the chat and pass along your comments and questions to Jillian. You also will be able to access this webinar on demand. It will be posted on Avanti Women's YouTube channel, and we will send you notification on when that is posted. So now, Jillian, a little bit of background. Jillian Bowman, she'll give you more information about herself, but she is a woman of many talents, and how she was introduced to us through Master Your Health, Live Your Life. She's the founder of Epicure Health Coaching. And as you saw in our introduction, she had a bit of a health scare that caused her to really rethink her nutrition plan and how she wanted to live her life. And it led her on a very interesting journey and very informative journey. So Jillian, I'll turn it over to you. And you can lead us through the rest. And if there's anything that comes up in chat, I'll interrupt you. Or if anybody has any questions and wants to interrupt, please feel free. So Jillian, over to you.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Susie. I'm going to try to take control here of this power presentation, but I don't seem to have the power.
There you go.
Yes, so I'm just going to start talking. Hopefully it's okay with everybody. So I'm Jillian. I am a certified health coach. I also am a business strategist, marketing strategist. I have a full-time job, 4 huge busy kids, growing steadily, and I'm incredibly passionate about health. And my journey started because I, like probably all of you, was a busy working mom, and I loved my job, but it was pretty demanding, stressful agency job. And I was managing stress really, really well, so I thought, until I wasn't, until my body gave out, and I was in the hospital for a week with mysterious aches and pains, and nobody could diagnose them. Anyhow, the full story is on my website on the About page. I won't bore you with it now because we've got a ton of content to cover. But the long story short is I wasn't always super fit. I'm not currently super fit. Sorry about that. I got overzealous on my clicking. But I'm healthy. My body works the way it's supposed to. I can do amazing things like carry a 17-foot canoe on my head for a weekend in Algonquin Park, like this slide shows. But I wasn't always that way. I was a mom. I had become super accustomed to the mom body, a little bloated, a little rounder in the hips, just getting through on survival mode, getting to work. I was happy if I got anything into my system in the way of food that would just keep me, sane and not totally hangry all day long. So that's where I was, and I know that most of you are like that too. You probably wouldn't be on this webinar right now if you weren't that way. So I want to just show you that you can be in that place and you can move to a healthier place for your life and be able to accomplish 10 times more within the 24 hours that you have and be healthy while you do it. And so I know that sometimes you're thinking, what? I can't possibly fit anything more into my day. But when you're healthy, you're clear in mind and your body moves and works more efficiently, and there's less aches and pains. You have more energy. You're more creative. There's all kinds of benefits to being healthy that are beyond just losing 20 pounds or hitting that number on the scale that you think you need to be or whatever. So I'm pretty sure that's why everybody is here. It's odd for me not to be able to hear people talking back at me at this point, so I'm just going to assume that that's why you're all here. But if you want to jump into the chat and just sort of indicate one of the big reasons why this webinar was interesting to you, that'd be great feedback as well. But I'm just going to move right on, if that's all right. Okay, so yeah, I am a health, lifestyle, and business coach. So it's sort of do all wrapped up together. And I know Avanti Women has a lot of entrepreneurial women as well. So a lot of the practices that I talk about can be implemented in your business as well. If you are a startup or an entrepreneur, you can absolutely apply these strategies to everything. And in fact, if you're writing a business plan, or even if you're doing your performance strategy at work for your boss, really think about how your health can play a part at work as well, and how wrapping your health goals into your work goals can actually help you accomplish both sets of goals at the same time. It's tricky, but we'll get there. Okay. In today's group, you won't be talking all over each other because most of you are muted, so that's great. But there's some rules for group webinars that I like to obey. So one, be open to new concepts, new perspectives, new thought processes, and don't judge what I'm saying, but also, and most importantly, don't judge the reactions that you're having to what I'm saying. It might be totally new, and that's totally fine. You can just say, huh, that's new, instead of laying on any kind of judgment. So be open, be super positive, respect each other's opinions, especially if it's back and forth in the chat, and also, most importantly, respect yourself. No beating up of self in this webinar or after this webinar, please. Also, be super curious. So if you have a reaction to something that I say, instead of letting that reaction sort of flare and become bigger, like, oh, heck no, I'm not giving up my coffee, just identify the fact that, oh, coffee is really important to me all of a sudden because I'm having a big reaction to the fact that she just said give it up. Just sort of make a mental note and get curious about why you're so attached to that thing that you're attached to. And then breathe. Anytime you might have a reaction to something that I say, just take a big deep breath and let it sink in. So let's just practice together taking these big deep breaths, okay? Big deep breath in for 5 counts. Hold it for 5 counts. And let it all out for 7 counts. Let's try it one more time. In for 5. Hold it for 5. And let it all out for 7. Okay, everybody feel good now? Cool. That is called the 5-5-7 breath, and that is your first tip of the day. 5-5-7 breath is one of the most powerful tools that you can use to counteract any stressful situation. Any moment in your day, at a meeting, driving into work, somebody cut you off, 5-5-7. Husband brings home the wrong bottle of wine, 5-5-7. Whichever, however it goes. So this is a nice way to start things off. Yes, it is totally possible to be healthy without denying yourself all the things that make you truly happy. That's cool, right? Assuming that your version of true happiness includes health. So if you want to get healthy, but your ultimate goal is to sit on your couch eating chocolate bonbons all day, then you cannot achieve both of those things at the same time. You can either achieve the bonbons and the couch all day, or you can achieve healthy. So presumably most of us, our version of happy is moving our bodies, experiencing life, travel, having great relationships, whatever it might be. Most of the time, healthy is part of that, but we don't always see our future happiness as healthy. We don't associate the two. For some reason, late 70s, 80s, 90s, diet philosophies beat out the happiness out of health. I don't know when it came, I think leotards had something to do with it. Those high cropped bodysuit, jazzercise outfits. I think that's where happiness and health ended. Because it became all of a sudden about denying yourself of stuff, food, anything that was enjoyable, eating like plastic or like things that tasted like cardboard. It became about like the denial of all things that were amazing, and then punishing yourself at the gym. And then this whole thing about cheat days, and you could like binge eat on one day of the week. I don't even know what that's about. And then all of a sudden, if you miss your workouts, you're going to punish yourself and go 5 times. Like, where's the joy in this healthy lifestyle? Who the heck would ever want to be healthy if that's what healthy was? And that is what kept me unhealthy for a very long time, because I was like, no thanks. I would rather be miserable and unhealthy and happy than miserable and look like that. So forget it. So this is all the stuff I'm going to sort of realign and fix. All of these weird associations that we have with healthy, and this like disconnection that healthy has with happiness. So we're going to move on from here, and we're going to talk about what is, I'm just going to skip this because we pretty much understand what we're going to cover today. So we want to make sure that we are super, super happy. So I want to talk to you today about what does your happiness look like? What does it feel like, actually? We all have a vision for what happiness might be, but like it's, at the cottage, or we know kind of what ultimate happiness looks like, what retirement looks like, or whatever. But do we know what it feels like? It's a different conversation. How do you know when you're happy? Do you feel strong, proud, sexy, confident, respected, fearless, connected, intimate? What does happiness really feel like? And chances are happiness doesn't feel like a number on the scale. And it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel hungry. That's what it doesn't feel. So let's not starve ourselves. But what does happiness feel like? And I really want you to get that mindset, really embrace that mindset. To do that, we're going to set a desired state goal. Now, I know that you, in Avanti Women, you've probably done a lot of goal setting seminars for work, for any kind of goal that you want to set. And this you can absolutely apply to any situation, any goal that you're going after. These sort of essential rules. And we'll go through that, the ones on the left first. So in desired state goal setting, we want to make sure that we state everything in a positive tone. We want to make sure that all of the goals and the action steps that we take to achieve the goals and the plans that we put in place are all something that we can do by ourselves. We don't need anybody else to do it. We're not relying on a friend to come and pick you up to go to the gym. We're not relying on your husband to go on the diet with you. It's completely self-initiated and maintained. If other people want to join you, super cool, but you're going to do it anyway. That is key. So often we let other people kibosh our well-laid plans. So that's a very important part. Also, make sure that it's achievable in a window of time that is realistic. I love thinking about things in 90-day chunks. It's 1 quarter. Usually our businesses operate on a quarterly basis, so you can put your personal goals in the same time frame. It just keeps things organized in your life. When all the components in your life are sort of synced up, that makes a lot of sense. Also, we want to describe how success is going to feel rather than what it looks like, or like the KPIs at work. You've called this many people, you've had this many sales, you've increased blah, blah, blah. Fine, those are fine metrics to follow, but are you really going to know that, are you going to feel satisfied at the end just by hitting those numbers? Probably not as much as if you associate a feeling towards it. You feel proud about hitting those numbers, then that's going to feel a lot better when you feel proud about the numbers. We can't disassociate our gut and our emotion from things that we do anymore, because we just don't stay true to them. We don't stay true to numbers. We do stay true to our emotions. And then also, we want the goals that we're setting to be realistic, certainly, but we want them to be big enough that we're going to impress the heck out of ourselves when we reach them, right? Like, you want to look back and go, what? I just totally did that in 3 months. That's amazing. And 3 months isn't a long time, especially if you've got kids. 3 months goes by in a blink, but you can accomplish a lot in 3 months. So, as an example, I've got this little 90-day kind of statement, I suppose, that I run through with my health coaching clients. I have a 90-day program. We achieve lots of great things in 90 days. But this is what we start off with. Desired state goal setting. You are going to, in the next 90 days, I will, and here's an example, I will lose 20 pounds and establish a daily fitness routine. That's a goal. That's got some metrics. You can see what there's an action plan there. Cool. But I'm going to do all of this while developing sustainable, healthy habits that are going to last my lifetime. Every day I'm going to make a small, meaningful step forward to becoming, and here's where all the emotions come in, becoming healthy, fit, and energetic, and feeling confident, proud, and sexy, and having more peace, joy, and balance so I can be more present with my family, be at peace with myself, and connect more deeply with my spouse. Those are some serious goals. Not a lot of them have anything to do with how I look in the mirror. But boy, do they ever have something to do with how I feel about myself when I look in the mirror. So it just might be a slightly different approach to setting goals. It'll make you dive a little bit deeper, but man, is it ever worth it. And it's going to propel you forward, I promise. It'll propel you into sticking with this and it becoming a lifestyle rather than it being a diet that is over at a certain time. You know what I mean? I'm going to assume you know what I mean because I can't hear you. Okay, so now we're going to jump right into this whole health thing. Right now, we're going to talk about what the heck is going on inside your body. I know that there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there that you don't talk to anybody about, right? And as a health coach, I get into details with people that you would never talk to anybody else about. I talk about poop more now than I ever did when my kids were in diapers. Let me just say that. And I feel like I'm talking to nobody. That's okay. I know you're all out there.
I think poop's important.
It's very important. Thank you. So, some of the things that we don't necessarily talk about are we get a little puffy. You know, you feel like your wedding ring just doesn't fit right, or, you know, just some things are just puffier than normal, especially in the morning. You feel bloated all the time, gassy, toots magoots on the couch, watching TV at the end of the day, like blaming the dog. I know. A girlfriend of mine said she got a dog because she was so gassy she needs something to blame.
Poor dog.
Or it's either that or it's runny belly or constipated, feeling tired all the time, joint pain, muscle stiffness, shortness of breath, depression, anxiety, low sex drive or any sex drive at all, being moody, having bad breath. All these things are things that we struggle with all the time. We don't talk to anybody with. We think they're normal. Well, everybody undoes their pants after they eat. Well, guess what? It's not normal. Our bodies weren't designed to feel like that. Our bodies were designed as pretty perfect machines. There's this, once you kind of get in there and learn about how your body's designed and how like this crazy system balances this one out, and it's just so amazing when your body is working properly, what your body actually does in the course of a day. It's awesome. Your body was not designed to feel like crap. I'm just saying that. You weren't meant to be uncomfortable after eating a meal. You weren't meant to have aching joints and arthritis and all of these crazy things that we all just deal with. So from now on, you're all going to just stop basing your health on social norms and wives' tales. Okay? No more after this. Promise? I'm going to assume you say promise. Thank you. Yay. Okay, so here's some common complaints that we all do. No matter how much sleep I get, I wake up tired. Right? Fair? We all said that. Every afternoon, I feel like I need a nap. Around 3 o'clock, coffee crash. We all have that. Or I feel bloated and gassy while I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. The bottom of every slide is gone. I don't know why, but that's what it says. These are fairly common complaints, perhaps the most common of which is the 3 p.m. crash. Everybody's headed for the kitchen at the office for a coffee at 3, pretty much in every office that I've ever worked at anyway. And this is because of insulin. We send our body on this massive insulin roller coaster ride every single day because we carb load in the morning and because we're eating all the wrong things and our body is just tripping out all day. That by 3 o'clock, we're on the downward slope of that roller coaster, but we don't have enough momentum to get us up the other side again. When we get all of this under control, you end up with more energy, more mental clarity, more focus. You can get way more done in your 8 hours at work. You're not gassy, you're not bloated, you have a stronger immune system, and you have an increased ability to burn fat. And it's not because you're on a crazy ketogenic diet or you're on any kind of like crazy denial regime. It's because when your body's producing all of this insulin to balance out the sugar that you've just created in your system, it can't produce a chemical called glucamine. Yes. Glucagon, sorry, my bad, glucagon. And glucagon is the chemical that triggers the fat burning process in your body. But it can't trigger that and if it's producing insulin or if it doesn't have enough insulin. It needs the perfect insulin to produce and secrete and do its job. So when you're on this roller coaster ride, even if it's like, I'm going to eat salad for 4 days and then I'm going to have, my cheat day on Friday and I'm going to carb load then on pizza and beer, well, you're still doing the same thing to your system. So if you want to increase or you want to activate that process, the fat burning process, you have to actually eat properly so that you don't send your body on this crazy insulin roller coaster ride. And you're going to love what properly looks like because it looks like a whole lot more food than what you're probably eating right now, I guarantee. So there's that one. There's also another thing that none of us talk about. I even have to pull it out of my clients after I've been working with them for 10 weeks. They totally know me and I know about their poop. They still don't tell me about this one thing that almost everybody that I've ever worked with that's had a child goes through. And they all say, well, it's just because I have a kid. So not only do we not talk about it, when we do talk about it, we blame our kids. Totally unfair. And here it is. Can anyone join the chat and say what they think it might be? No? Yes? Okay, I'll just pull the wool over. Hemorrhoids. I'm going to talk about it right now. It's not just what happens when you get pregnant or during pregnancy or after pregnancy. No, it's not something that you need to deal with for the rest of your life as like the prize for having a kid. You don't have to. And here's why. Hemorrhoids are inflammation. Clearly, if you've ever had one, you totally know that. But it's inflammation in your colon and your digestive tract. Inflammation is your body's stress signal. That's your body saying, hold up, sister. Something is wrong. There is something going on in my system. It's making me super angry, and this is my way of getting your attention. And when we just sort of dismiss that, your body gets pretty angry back at you, and it gives you another hemorrhoid in about a month. So you don't have to continue, you don't have to buy stocks in preparation H. There's a way to get rid of the inflammation in your system. So now that you know that it's inflammation, now you know that you can get rid of it, right? Easy. Some people think.
Not all that easy.
Here's the problem. As soon as you Google get rid of inflammation in my system, you will learn that inflammation is caused by stress, but also inflammation causes stress, which then creates more inflammation, which then creates more stress, and so on and so on and so on. So how do you stop the cycle? Well, sugar, salt, wheat, and dairy are the 4 biggest contributors to the chronic illness-causing inflammation that we have. So let me say that again. Sugar, salt, wheat, and dairy cause your body to inflame, which causes stress, which causes the chronic illnesses that is killing most of North America today. That sounds super heavy-handed, I totally know, but it's true. Sugar, salt, wheat, and dairy are the 4 most consumed ingredients in the North American diet. And North Americans are all dying from, I'm going to cough, hold on a second. We're all dying from chronic illnesses. I don't want to be that guy that's like, the sky is falling, but it's true. Stress and inflammation are the leading causes of death in North America, and they're responsible for heart disease, stroke, diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, cancer, dementia, mental health. It goes on and on and on and on and on. So this isn't anything that any of you want to live with or deal with, and I certainly don't want you to either. So let's fix it. Here's how to get rid of all of the inflammation in your digestive tract. I promise. So all we have to do is eliminate dairy and gluten. Sorry, I'm laughing because I can see your faces even though I can't hear your voices right now. Wheat particularly, but any gluten grains, dairy, all of it, except for butter. All sweeteners. You can use honey and maple syrup if you'd like. Carbonated drinks. Our body works super hard to get rid of gas all day long. We don't need to add any more, just to give it more work to do. And caffeine. Caffeine is like smoking for your digestive tract, just by the way. So just eliminate those things and you'll be fine. Right, so right now I'm imagining all of you, if you haven't logged off of the webinar by now, after seeing this slide, you're like, what? What else can I eat then? So here's the rules for what you can eat. At least 3 of these 4 elements have to be true, and then it's a green light. So if it ran, swam, grew, or flew, eat it, unless it's a gluten grain, then don't eat that. If it contains less than 5 ingredients that you can explain to your 5-year-old. Okay, so if it has a package, read the package. If it has more than 5 ingredients, put it away. If any of the ingredients, even if there's only 2 and one of them you can't pronounce or explain to a 5-year-old of where it came from or how it was made, no. Then don't eat it. So eat it if you can explain it to a 5-year-old and there's fewer than 5 ingredients. If it doesn't come in a bag, bottle, or box. So if it doesn't come in a bag, bottle, or box, then it won't have an ingredients list. So that's good. If it's in a can, which is doesn't start with a B, so it didn't make this list, but if it comes in a can, like coconut milk, but that's usually just coconut milk and some of them have water too. So that's 2 ingredients and you know what it comes in a can, that's fine, but still the ingredients thing applies. And then if it wasn't processed. So that's still a lot of food. That's pretty much the exterior perimeter of your store minus the dairy section and the bread aisle or the bread corner. So that's a lot. That's like the produce aisle and the meat aisle and most of the rest of the outside of the store. Here's where it gets a little tricky, is the rushed nights and the soccer rush and the lunch and breakfast and snacks are super hard. So this is the point where everyone's like, I can't do this. And this is what I would like for you all to say. Instead of I can't, or I won't, or oh no, I don't eat that, or whatever. End all of those sentences with the word yet. It's very powerful. Susie, you want to try this with me?
Yes, you can. You just haven't yet.
So Susie, how do you feel about giving up bread?
My whole household has given up bread, so I'm the last holdout. So I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Have you given up bread?
Not yet.
That a girl. Right? So when I first started talking to Susie about a month ago, she was like, heck no, everybody else can give it up, but I am going to hold on to it. It's okay. If you don't want to give it up, you don't have to, but you also need to just understand that you're not going to achieve what you're hoping to achieve from your goals. It's cool, but you just have to know. So I'm just setting expectations. You can or you can't. It doesn't matter. But you won't achieve the goals that you are hoping to if you don't commit. If you don't take your medicine, you're not going to get better. This is the whole theory. So, and I'm not actually just targeting you right now, Susie.
That's okay. I can take it.
That was a general conversation. Sorry. I realized that transition didn't quite happen properly. But it's true. So when you go to the doctor and you're not feeling well, you have a cold or you have strep throat, and the doctor says, here, take penicillin for 10 days and you'll be fine. Everybody takes their medicine until they get better, right? Everybody does it. You go to the doctor, you get your medicine, you take the pill, you're good. Even when the doctor says you have to take this pill for the rest of your life, people are like, okay, I'll take medication for the rest of my life. Even when the pill, taking it the rest of my life, makes me feel a little bit dizzy or it doesn't make me feel perfect, but the doctor said I have to take it every day for the rest of my life, so I'm gonna. Well, this is the same advice. If you don't want to take pills for the rest of your life, you have to do something for the rest of your life, and you need to fuel your body with the food that's going to make sure you don't have to take the pills for the rest of your life. Does that make sense? Yet. Maybe it doesn't, but it might soon. It doesn't make sense yet. Oh, okay, so here's what we are going to eat. Macronutrients. This is the big focus. Every diet out there, and I'm about to let you in on an industry secret that most personal trainers, dietitians out there hate me for sharing, but I'm going to let you know that every diet out there is based on macronutrient. No one diet is going to fix everybody. There's not one golden winning diet. All diets just manage macronutrients, which are healthy fats, lean proteins, and good carbs. Good carbs include fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds, non-gluten grains. Lean proteins, meats, eggs, beans, legumes, nuts, seeds, and certain vegetables have proteins in them as well. Healthy fats, omega-3s, fish, nuts, seeds, olive oil, avocados. And there's a lot of crossover items. Nuts and seeds, they're like massive winners. Eat those all the time. But every diet out there, there's hundreds of them, and you can understand them all right now. They're all just shift the balance of the macronutrients. So how much healthy fat to protein to carb, how much of it you eat, when you eat it. So if it's 3 meals a day or 6 meals a day, and then where you get it from. Is it organic, or is it from the supermarket, or does it matter? Or is it vegetarian, or is it animal protein, what have you? All the diets talk about the same components. They just shift around the importance here and there. And here's the reason why there's so many diets out there, why there isn't just one universal truth. It's because there's so many of us out there. It's like you can't parent 2 children the same way. You can't feed 2 bodies the same way. Everybody's body is totally different. You have to decide for yourself what is the right balance of proteins and healthy fats and carbs that makes your own body operate at peak capacity. Now, not everybody went to nutrition school or to figure out all of that stuff. So everyone's like, well, how am I supposed to know how I feel or how I'm operating? It's because we've stopped listening to our own bodies, and we've all started following the fad diets and just doing what everyone else is so passionate about. Let's take a breather, stop, slow down, and really listen to what our bodies are saying and how we feel. And let's put good food in and listen to the effects that it's having. Your body is talking to you right now as you undo your button because your belly is feeling a little bloated, or as you get into your yoga pants that you may have never taken to a yoga studio, but boy, are they ever comfortable after dinner. Those moments, your body is telling you stuff. And you will notice very quickly, after making just a few very simple changes to your diet, that all of those symptoms are gone so fast. You'll be so surprised at how fast your body thanks you and rewards you by feeling amazing. So moving forward, the new diet, I guess, mindset or healthy living mindset is this. It isn't, we're not going to talk about rewards and incentives anymore. Your food isn't a reward. It's a requirement. So let's just understand that. A treat is only a treat if it treats you well. So no, on cheat day, don't go and have a cheesecake or even a piece of one if you know that dairy hurts your body. That's not a treat. Who's that treating? Nobody. You're going to feel sorry tomorrow. So let's just take a breather. Let's have a science experiment for 4 weeks, let's say. We will just conduct a few tests. Your body is the fastest science diagnostic lab that you'll ever have access to. It's free, it's cheap, it's super fast, and it's deadly accurate. And all you have to learn is how to run the tests, and that's what you're going to do for 4 weeks. So you're going to follow a macronutrient balanced diet. You're going to record what you're eating and how you're feeling. And then at the end of every week, you're going to look back and go, whoa, that made me feel really good. Oh, that day I had a lot of chickpeas and I was pretty gassy, so I'm going to lay off the chickpeas. You're not beating yourself up about anything. If you happen to go out with the girls and you have a bunch of wine and you have pizza and you go all out, don't beat yourself up about it. It's not about that. It's just a science experiment. Record the next day how you feel. Record everything that you eat and how it makes you feel that day, the next day, as you move forward. It's just a science experiment. You're not a bad person. It's okay. We don't need to punish ourselves by going to 3 hours of boot camp classes on Saturday because you had a good time on Friday. That isn't happiness. Is everyone with me on this theory? That's
Absolutely.
a good one. Right? We can live with that. So I've provided this food tracker that I give to my clients. It's super simple. You can print it out. You can print like 2 on one page if you wanted to. Double-side it if you want, but give yourself 4 weeks of it. And just track every day. So when you wake up in the morning, have a glass of water and do like a body check-in. How are you feeling? How's your digestive health? Do you have any bloating? How's it feeling? Have you gone poop yet? Like how's it, all of that stuff. Write it in. Just quickly check mark. Like how are you feeling 1 to 10 on digestive, physical, and emotional health when you wake up in the morning. Track how many ounces of water you've had. And then any other beverages that you might drink through the day, mark that down too. Record what you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. And then at the end of the day, record how you're feeling, digestive, physical, emotional again. If you've done any exercise that day, write it down. How many hours of sleep did you have last night? Write that in, and then make some notes for tomorrow, like reminders. Oh yeah, I ate this and it didn't really sit well. Just write a little reminder to yourself. And importantly, write some kind of gratitude. Give yourself a pat on the back for anything. Even if you fell totally off the wagon, like by breakfast, give yourself a nod for recognizing that you fell off the wagon at breakfast. anything, some kind of like self-gratitude for the day at the end of the day. So that's easy enough. At the end of a week, you'll look back and you can start to see some patterns. Oh, I ate this, I felt like this. I didn't eat that, and I felt great. Oh, and you can start to be a scientist. Just analyze the data. We're not judging, we're not beating ourselves up about it, we're just going to analyze the data. Does that seem doable?
Yeah, it does.
Right? So that's doable. I'm super excited to hear you say that. So let's do it. 4 weeks, we're good. Better yet, 12, because that gives us the 90 days, but we can just do it for 4. That's all good. So there's a couple little nuggets that I like to share. I've already shared one of them with you, which is it's only a treat if it treats you well. It's a good thing to remember. Also, saying no to the foods that are bad for you, that you know make you feel bad, or that you know are going to cause chronic illness, stress and inflammation, all that stuff that I scared you with at the beginning that I don't want to scare you with anymore. So that, saying no to all of those things is saying no to feeling like crap and saying a big fat yes to feeling happy and healthy and living the life that you want to live. Not living a life that is uncomfortable in that party dress. You want to go and rock that party dress. You want to go and strut in those heels. You don't want to have like all ankle pains and swollen feet in your heels. You want to go and like do it or look great in your bathing suit or in your jean shorts or whatever it is. You want to feel confident and powerful and sexy and amazing. That's what you're saying yes to. That amazing goal setting, that desired state. Get super, super comfortable with that desired state. Own it, feel it, almost like you can taste it. That is what you're saying yes to when you say no to pizza. And you know what? The next time pizza comes around, if you have that desired state imprinted in your heart and in your mind and in every fiber of your being, that pizza is going to taste nasty. It might smell great, but you know it's going to taste like a whole lot of hurt tomorrow and bloated and nasty feeling. It's not going to taste as good as saying no to it is going to feel in 90 days. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yay. So saying no to pizza, saying big ol' yes to everything else. That's important. So how the heck are we going to do this? I get it. So I mentioned at the beginning that I have a full-time job and a mess of kids and I'm a health coach and I still actually have a bit of a life, social life. So how do we get it all done and keep our sanity and not be like that person that wakes up at 4 in the morning and goes to bed at 2 in the morning? I'm not that guy. 8 hours a night kind of girl. So I have, it's almost like a religion, 3-hour period of time in my weekend. I go grocery shopping, I come home, I don't even put food away yet. Food is still in the grocery bag on my counter. I take it out of the grocery bag, I put it on my cutting board, and I chop and I prep, and everything is done before it even goes into the fridge. Because as soon as it goes into the fridge, I have 4 kids, I said that before, right? As soon as it goes in the fridge and the fridge door closes, something happens. It's like magic. It just, food disappears into a wild vortex. I don't know. Some teenager comes in and it's like a vacuum cleaner, just goes out. And of course they eat like half of the ingredients I had planned for the meal on Wednesday. And now my whole meal plan's shot because some kid had a snack in the middle of the night. Who knows? It's crazy. So I have to unpack stuff. I prep everything. I prep even my morning smoothie batches. I put all the ingredients in little Ziploc bags, and then I seal the Ziploc bags and I put them in the freezer. Because then I don't need to put ice cubes in my smoothie because all the other ingredients are frozen. I put everything in, and all I have to do in the morning is empty the bag into the blender, pour the liquid in, throw a scoop of protein powder. Sometimes I even put the protein powder in the Ziploc bag too. Works just fine. And then it whiz it up. So I don't have to do all the measuring and portioning out in the morning. I can't get all that organized in the morning. But this way, it's super fast. I have to get the Ziploc bags out, and then I just wash, chop, prep. I can do 2 weeks of smoothie batches in like 20 minutes, not even 15 minutes. And that includes like washing the spinach and putting everything together. It's so super fast. Also, overnight oats. I don't love super mushy things. Like I'm a texture person like that. So I batch up all my my overnight oat containers. I'll do 2 weeks of it as well. And I just keep it all dry. And then the night before, I pour my almond milk in and put it in the fridge. So I have my smoothie in the morning, and I grab my overnight oats because I usually want to eat that when I get to my desk while I'm like looking at my emails and getting my day sorted. I have my cozy little overnight oats. That's my morning work routine. But that's super simple. It's done. And honestly, I'm just like grabbing things, and there's no planning or thinking in the morning because I have to get everybody else out the door too, and their lunches and school bags and stuff. So I have to make my health and my kids' health too, obviously, but the healthy things have to be so convenient and easy, like super convenient and easy. And if I don't master plan it and get it all done and batched up and organized, it'll never happen. So I do that as soon as the groceries come in the door. Boom, everything is prepped, labeled, put away in my fridge. I've got Tupperware that's like Monday dinner, and everything in there is what I need for Monday dinner. So the kids know they're not allowed to touch that stuff. We need that for dinner on Monday. And then there's like a drawer of, here, have anything you want in here at any point in time of the day. This is a free-for-all, everything else don't touch. Because if I don't have my master plan, it's not getting done. I have exactly like 20 minutes to get food cooked and on the table when I get home from work and when somebody has to leave for some sport. So there's an efficiency model at play here. But it can be done because it has to be done. And I don't want to spend all the time cooking. So I usually cook like 3 times a week, and then we live on leftovers after that. Because I don't want to do dishes 7 times a week either. And either do my kids, because they just won't. So I'm assuming everybody else's family is as nuts as mine. And so these strategies really do apply pretty much across the board to everybody. Sorry, I just grabbed some water and it sounded like it was dropping something into a well. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. So another really great batch prep idea is things like a quinoa salad, that kind of stuff, or even just batch prepping like rice, a big huge pot of rice and lots of extras. And then a big thing of roasted vegetables at the beginning of the week, and like 2 roasted chickens, and you just carve all that stuff up. And I'll take my roasted vegetables, like half of it, and store it whole, and then the other half I'll chop up into small little bits, and then I can put like a scoop of the chopped up ones with rice and spinach into a bowl, and that's my lunch. Or with quinoa or something like that. Throw some chickpeas in there and some nuts and seeds, and we're good to go. It's like a super macronutrient dense lunch, and all it was is me taking like 2 scoops out of 2 different buckets in my fridge. It's super simple. Also, the whole ones you can either just reheat as is, or you can chop them up and then reheat them in the frying pan with like for tacos or nacho toppings, or even if you do like a gluten-free pizza crust, you can do those as toppings on pizza. It's super good. Jar salads, they're really trendy because the hipsters love anything in mason jars. So you can go on Pinterest and get a million different mason jar recipes. Those are super fun to do, and you can make those ahead of time, like 5 days ahead of time. Make like a full work week of mason jar salads ahead of time as well. Just don't put the dressing in, obviously. There's lots. Hard boil a bunch of eggs, like a dozen eggs. That's a full protein. And you can put that in salads. You can have it for snacks, a macronutrient dense snack if you've worked out. So those are really great options as well. On my Facebook group, I have a lot of recipes, and I have a 14-day meal plan that's super easy, and it's really focused on batch cooking to give you like lots of strategies to get through the day on batch cooking. So if you join my Facebook group, you can have access to that there. So Susie, do we have any questions so far?
No questions so far.
No? Okay, cool.
Double check. Oh, sorry, I took control back.
Okay, so that's okay. We'll sit on the screen for a bit. So I had mentioned briefly earlier that the key to success, I guess, is to make the healthy options super easy. Simplify them as much as possible. Look for the easy buttons and push them. A lot of times, like at Superstore or any of the main grocery stores, will have a ready-to-eat section. And there's usually salads, like there's some really great quinoa salads. There's some great edamame and chickpea kind of salads. Those are awesome to have on hand because they're already done, they're already dressed. You can put a scoop of that in on a bed of spinach and you're good to go. So go ahead and press those easy buttons. Sure, it's better to buy organic ingredients and cook everything from scratch and eat everything, whatever. But that's not realistic for most people, right? You have to press the easy button on something. So avoid the packaged, over-processed foods, even if it says organic. You don't really know. There's a whole bunch of nutrients that's lost when it's pulverized and processed like that. So opt for the whole food, like ready-to-eat healthy options, as opposed to anything that comes in a bag, bottle, or box. Opt for that. So that's one way to make things easier. The already cooked roasted chickens, you can opt for that. I would suggest going for the organic versions in that one. They're usually a couple of dollars more, but I won't give you the information that I have because you won't be able to unlearn that. You can find it online if you want to.
And just Jillian, you actually have we actually have an offer that we'll be sending out to people because it looks like this might be one of the boxes that comes from a service. So not just the grocery store, but there are some really great meal services that you've found, and you've offered up a couple of discount options that we'll be sending out to everybody after.
Absolutely, yeah. There's some amazing meal services, and I'm sure you've heard of them. There's Chef's Plate and HelloFresh are two that I've used before. Really great meal kits. They come all fresh ingredients, all chopped up. The onions are even chopped for you. It's like so easy. If you have teenage kids that can use the stove, they can totally make a gourmet meal by themselves. The recipe cards are so simple. All the ingredients that are required for the dinner are right there, pre-portioned out. You just empty the containers into the pot in the right order, and you're good. Most of the time, the meals are cooked in one pot, so dishes are even really low. And it gets everybody, especially if you've got teenagers, you want them, because they're going to be going to college soon, like you really want them to understand health and understand how to feed themselves, and like you got to kind of gear them up to that. This is an amazing way to start introducing health and flavors and fresh cooking for your whole family. And to share the load, right? We're all busy, and so you can honestly be eating in half an hour.
Yeah, and it's great that we'll be able to share some discount coupons on those. Can I just interject that we're running kind of close to time, and I know we had some free offers that you wanted to get to before we signed off.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I don't have the power anymore. I'm trying to go to the next slide. So yeah, so take advantage of making health easy. And then all the treats like cookies and cakes and stuff, make those from scratch, right? Because it takes an hour to do it. You'll probably talk yourself out of wanting those cookies before you get to pulling the ingredients out of the pantry. So you'll opt for the apple before you'll go through the hassle of making the cookies. So no cookies in the house, but buy the ready-made healthy stuff. That's my go-to there. So the major action plan that I want everyone to walk away from is to have a plan and to prep for it. Schedule some time in your week to prep your meals. That is critical. Then you want to press the easy button for health. You want to make sure that throughout the process, you are curious about your health. You're curious about your reactions, and you're curious about the decisions that you make along the way. You're not beating yourself up about it, and you're not judging. You're just simply curious. I wonder why I made that choice, or I wonder why I feel like this. You're going to say, oh, I haven't done that yet, as opposed to I've never done that, or I'm not ever going to do that, or it's just I haven't done that yet. Cool, right? You're going to have fun and move your body. If you don't go to a gym yet and all of that is really super intimidating, or your body just hurts too much to even think about working out, I get it. Focus on the health. Get rid of your inflammation first. Lessen the stress in your body, in your life, by breathing 5-5-7, and focus on all that first. While you're cooking dinner, dance. Have a dance party. That's all. Just move your body every day. Focus on that. As soon as you get rid of the inflammation and the achy pains, do 45 minutes of movement every day, whatever it is. Walk your dog, have sex, all good. Move your body, get your heart rate up. Seriously, it's good. Whatever it is, it's all good. But make that part fun. It has to be fun, otherwise why bother, right? It's all about being happy and using your body the way it was intended to be used. And share your happiness. Let your family know what that big, deep vision is that you have. What does your happiness feel like? Share it with them. Understand what their happiness feels like. Make this your focus instead of all the other stuff that's tied to health, that has been in the past tied to health. Make this the new health. Happy is the new health. That's the slogan of my next webinar.
Perfect.
So this is the good part. This is what everybody is here for. Where are we going? The free stuff. Woohoo! Okay, so we've got a workbook that I will make available for everybody on the Facebook group. This amazing infographic here tells you everything that you need to know. These are all the health basics: how much water you should be having a day, how to breathe and get oxygen in your body, when to move your body, how much, when to eat, how many meals to eat, what to eat, all the rest of it is all on that infographic. There's the goal setting thing as well that's there. There's an empty one in the workbook that you can fill out with your own goals in there. And then this chart is also available for you there, and it's the cravings chart. So if you're craving chocolate, your body's actually telling you that you're low on magnesium, so you should go grab a handful of nuts and seeds and veggies and fruit, and maybe have a magnesium supplement added to your daily routine. So if you're always craving chocolate at the end of the day, bump up magnesium. If it's like candy sugar that you want, get all of these other things: sulfur, phosphorus, carbon, chromium, tryptophan. Get all of that checked, do a full blood workup, and eat as much of what's on that right-hand column as you possibly can. If you crave breads and pastas and carbs, you need nitrogen, go for protein. If you crave oily foods, then go for, and now it says milk here because that's what your body actually wants, calcium. There's a load, green leafy vegetables, nuts and seeds, amazing calcium options there. Here's the thing, well, if you want to know why I'm so anti-milk, then ask me on Facebook and I'll go into it. We don't have time to go into that today. Maybe that's another webinar series, but it just impedes the absorption of all of the other good things that you eat. So there you go. Green leafy for calcium. And then salty foods go for healthy fats, which would be fish and cashews, nuts and seeds, all those things. So this is a really super handy cravings chart that you can lean on. Also, I've got an amazing survival adventure in Algonquin Park. If anyone's ever wanted to challenge themselves like this was when I really knew that I was healthy, when I could do this trip. Even when I didn't actually think I was really ready before I went, I was like, I came out of the woods feeling like I was the strongest woman on earth. I just was so proud of myself. It's the best trip ever. I always go in with people that have never gone portaging and camping before, so no experience required. But we do judge on positive attitude and willingness to try. That's it. That's all you have to be able to do. And you can't complain about bugs because there's bugs. So you can't complain about them. Just know that they're there. That's all. Anyway, there's only 7 seats left on this trip. So if you are interested, go to the adventures page on my website and you can jump in there. And my big motto, healthy doesn't have to suck. That's just it. It just doesn't have to be awful to live and be healthy. It actually is supposed to be super fun and exciting. And so if you want to get a little bit more inspiration and find out lots of new and fun ways to make healthy not suck, you can join me on my Facebook group. The Facebook group is called Master Your Health. You can just search it on Facebook. It should show up. And this is the image that's on the Facebook group. So if you search Master Your Health and there's a whole big list of them, then just look for this picture that pops up beside the group. And that's all I have.
Well, thank you so much. I do have to tell you that that word keeps swirling through my head, Jillian. So I am saying those things. I haven't done it yet. It's not that I'm not going to do it. And
I believe you.
I do find it very inspirational. And I thank you so much for the passion and just your inspirational talk about this health trend that we can all embrace, and also the glorious images just makes it look so much better than pizza and cheeseburgers. Absolutely. I'm going to sign off now and just let everybody know that we'll be posting this as a webinar on demand, and look forward to talking to you again, Jillian. Thank you all, everybody, tonight. Good night.
Thanks very much. Bye.